Downtown Development Authority Board. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 26. It is 6:30 PM. Can we have a roll call and determination of quorum, please?
Chair Debbie Burgess,
Here?
Director Caruso,
Here.
Director Shell,
Here.
Director Laurent,
Here.
Director Rett. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 3, approval of minutes. A, approval of DDA regular meeting minutes of December 16th, 2025, page 3.
Motion to approve DDA regular meeting minutes of December 16th, 2025.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item 3B, approval of DDA informational meeting minutes of December 16th, 2025, page 12.
Motion to approve DDA board informational meeting minutes of December 16th, 2025.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 4, approval of agenda.
Motion to approve agenda.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, call to the public. The DDA welcomes comments related to the work and spirit of the DDA on non-agenda items. Each person wishing to address the DDA board should be afforded an opportunity to do so. When recognized, please give your name and address and direct your comments to the chair. Comments on the agenda item may be allowed upon the calling of the item. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or is allowed by the board chair. Anyone? Okay. Moving on to item number 6, consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are approved by one vote. A, financial reports, page 15. B, termination of trolley program, page 26. C, merchandise development, page 28. D, notice of resignation, board member, page 29.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, financial matters. A, bill approval. Roll call, please, page 38.
Motion to approve disbursements in the amount of $51,697.78 for December 2025.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Chair Burgess,
Yes.
Director Caruso,
Yes.
Director Shell,
Yes.
Director Laurent,
Yes.
Director Rett. Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 8, new and old business. A, notice of resignation, administrative coordinator, page 45.
Madam Chair, Emily, our very kind administrative coordinator, for some personal reasons, had to take a job. She did allow me to disclose to you that this had nothing to do with her enjoyment of the job. She actually really liked it, but she's going through some personal things health-wise. This allows her to work from home, very close to her doctor, which Janet and I realized she was going to, 2 and 3, sometimes 4 times a week. So this is really good for Emily, a little bit frustrating for us because we now don't have an administrative coordinator again. So it's on your agenda just to receive the notice of her resignation. I attached a revised job description. So what I'm asking for the board tonight is very, very brief comment, or all night if you want it, but preferably brief comment. We would continue this at a cost not to exceed $20 an hour based upon a revised description that would be a more outward-facing role of the position. And so I put in the description broader language that talks about that you, I described it somewhat as being fearless when I've talked to some people, that you are the more outward face of gathering notice information from our community members and our businesses, that when somebody walks in the door, it's more of a very welcoming host, sales, marketing type role than it is an administrative function. We'll teach you the administrative stuff. One, I would like to get some concurrence, Madam Chair, that the board is comfortable with going in that direction. This is really after Janet and I have now worked with 2 different variants of administrative coordinators. We think that we really do need a stronger front of office, outside the office presence of just a basic administrative person that can go to the businesses and get information and do all the little details that we need. What that means from the back end is I will be taking back on the finances, inputting that into the BSNA cloud. When we started that a little over a year ago, that was a real time suck for me. But the fact that you went to the cloud and the new BSNA system, it is not. For me, it's just a couple hours a week. So totally fine for me to take that over. It actually gets me closer to the budget again, which is good. I actually spent more time chasing Emily on budget questions than if I was just doing it myself. So what's before you is a general discussion. I think the motion is just to accept the resignation and provide direction, and that's what's before you.
Okay. Anybody have any?
Motion to accept the resignation and accept the new job description.
Anybody want to have any discussion on that at all? Are we good?
No, I agree. I think it's important to have someone at the office that's going to have be like the face of of the DDA, someone who's more outgoing and someone who can be out there and really be a good presence and walk downtown and meet people as well. I think it's a good thing to have someone who can do both besides just the paperwork part, like you said.
I think the attitude and the ability when either of us say, hey, listen, can you follow up with these dozen business people today just to make sure they're set, that there's not a hesitancy. What we experienced with Emily is sometimes it was, she kind of knew what to do, but she just didn't engage as well. So we'll be looking a little bit more local this time. It would be a suggestion I would have to the board, Madam Chair, that I would like to implement a new process that I haven't been following, which is for staff to do the vetting when we feel like we have somebody, that we would invite at least 2 board members to come sit down in a final process so that the board could get an impression as well. That is a little bit of a safeguard. I don't know, 2 strikes and, now I'm on the 3rd. So I would ask that the board come help me a little bit. But that's the goal of it, Mr. Pearson.
Good.
Perfect. I like it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8B, LO Live Concert Series Contract, page 48. And we will need a roll call on this.
Madam Chair, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is identical contract and language to last year with 20 Front Street Concepts. We've agreed to keep the pricing the same. They delivered a phenomenal talent series. The word is spreading that Wednesday nights in Orion, if you're a music person, you come to Orion on Wednesday nights, not just like to be outside when somebody's playing the guitar. So our recommendation is to move forward with the little anomaly, just the way the budget or the motion is written, is just a reminder to you all that this event happens in next fiscal year. But we need to adopt the contract now so that 20 Front Street has a contract in place that they feel confident they can go book this. So we're adopting the contract. We won't pay it until the next fiscal year budget, which means we are doing something that's abnormal in the government process, as this board is binding that budget process, but it's acceptable in general accounting standards. We just have to acknowledge that we're doing it, and that's why the motion is worded like it's worded.
Okay, good.
Motion to approve the contract with 20 Front Street Concepts LLC for the booking, promotion, and performance of the 2026 LO Live Concert Series at a cost not to exceed $13,000, with funds to be budgeted and paid in the 26-27 budget from GL 248-729-880-0001.
Roll call, please.
Chair Burgess,
Yes.
Director Caruso,
Yes.
Director Shell,
Yes.
Director Laurent,
Yes.
Director Rutt. Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8C, Seasonal Winter Maintenance Update, page 52, and roll call, please.
Madam Chair, this was deferred from the December meeting regarding how we're dealing with snow and ice. We're going to get 3 or 4 inches tomorrow. The good news is that both the DPW is doing an excellent job of snow and ice this year, considering the winter's been pretty good, as are we. My office went ahead within my procurement authority, both on an emergency basis and a needed basis. We maintained our per event process for snow and ice. I did some further research, called some other people, Whalen Seasonal from Sterling Heights, who I know. I called High Hill again. The pricing is in the memo. It's all substantially more than what we were able to negotiate with the locals using Mr. Huxell, who does a lot of businesses, and Ricky Green, who's a local college graduate that started a new business here. We're able to cobble this together for this year. I know that there's been, again, some anxiety about that. The cost that we're paying right now to make sure that we have, as I stated in the memo, the most significant thing is we don't have parking in this town of the robust nature that we really want. That's why we're building the lumberyard. So we need to lease these lots. And by leasing these lots, no different than we paid for asphalt last year to make sure that the one lot across from us was improved. We have to keep safe lots. We have to have the ability to have people drive to our town, get out of their car, walk to the stores and the restaurants. So this is what we're doing. The numbers that are in the file, this would be more of a affirmation of the decisions that your director made because it started to snow in November. But it is backed up by the numbers that we've done a good job of making sure that these are very, very qualified pricing for people that are insured that do this work within our town. So the motion before you is twofold because there's two different groups. One of them is the Mitten State. This deals with taking care of our sidewalk obligations downtown, not the business sidewalks. For those that are watching, we are working very closely. I can't emphasize enough to the board how well it's working between us and the chief and his code enforcement to coordinate with the business community. Matter of fact, they said today that it's the best year, Ray Hammond said it's the best year he's had, and he doesn't know how many years of the cooperative nature of what's going on right now with snow and ice. And I said, well, wait till tomorrow, it's gonna snow for you.
Yeah, tomorrow's the test.
So it's going really, really well. So I would ask that you adopt the two motions that are before you, one for Mitten State not to exceed $6,000 for the season into March, as well as the second one, which would be for Tim Hawkswell, at an amount not to exceed $5,700. That would get all of our plowing, all of our sidewalks, all of our salting done through to the first week of March. If winter extends beyond then, I would return, but I would also have it go back to the authority of per push is less than $400. And so I have the authority to handle isolated events if we get late spring, early spring snow. So that's what's before you.
So I'd like to have it in two motions, please.
Motion to approve Mitten State LLC for sidewalk and seasonal maintenance in the amount of $6,000 not to exceed that amount without further action of the board with funds from 248-260-801-000 contractual services downtown.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Chair Burgess,
Yes.
Director Caruso,
Yes.
Director Shell,
Yes.
Director Laurent,
Yes.
Director Rutt. Yes. Motion's approved.
Item number 2.
Motion to authorize the executive director to use Tim Hawkswell for the plowing, salting, and maintenance of DDA-owned and leased public parking areas at a cost not to exceed $5,700 with funding from 248-260-801-000 contractual services downtown.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Chair Burgess,
Yes.
Director Caruso,
Yes.
Director Shell,
Yes.
Director Laurent,
Yes.
Director Rutt. Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8D, performance review of assistant director. This agenda item is for the board to receive information only. The assistant director has been invited to present what she believes is a fair and complete representation of her work since her evaluation meeting on September 16th, 2026. No action is scheduled or anticipated under this item. Before we begin, I want to note for the record that under the Michigan Open Meetings Act, the assistant director has the right to request that this review be conducted in a closed session. A closed session may only occur if she requests it. Ms. Bloom, would you like to request a closed session for this portion of the meeting?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So the chair will entertain a motion to go into closed session at the request of the assistant director for the purposes of personal evaluation pursuant to MCL 15.268A.
Motion to go into closed session.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? At this time, we will go into closed session in the conference room.
Yeah, it's going to come. the air conditioning on?
I was walking through the hospital, I saw this thing, this is tonight's board meeting. It's like,
I'm thinking I'm buying some Long Johns is what I'm thinking.
I'd like to take a motion to get chair warmers.
Yeah.
Yes. As soon as Matt comes back. The board will now return to open session. No decisions were made in closed session. Have a motion?
You don't need a motion.
We don't need to?
No, we don't need to.
Okay, so we're
Yeah,
just going to,
We'll make sure the minutes reflect that, as Ms. Rudd, our council president, said, that because it was for informational purposes only and no decisions were made, it's just a reconvening of the session.
okay, we are reconvening. Item number 9, reports, resolutions, and recommendations. A, minute for mission accreditation, page 55.
Madam Chair, some of you very kind people had it in your schedules to be able to help us, and those that didn't, you are totally still our partners, and we love you, but just to give you a quick update and give the public a quick update, we did prepare a rather extensive accreditation manual that includes our self-evaluation, includes some of the materials that we provided. Our accreditation day was really good. We had 5 board members and 2 members of the administration join us in the morning. Most, if not all, those people stayed for the lunch with the representative from the national program. The afternoon is where we really shined. We had more than 30 people come to the stakeholders meeting at 20 Front Street. The people that came felt that it was very engaging. They went away excited about the process. They went away glad that they were asked questions, that they could share their thoughts and opinions. I thought that one of the more endearing comments from the national representative was that all of you are treating this like your favorite teddy bear, and you're just giving it all kinds of love, as he tried like crazy to elicit some type of more critical analysis out of the process. And so this agenda item, out of the accreditation process, most significantly in the accreditation book itself, when we do the self-evaluation, we also submit work plans. This year in the accreditation manual, I'll be sending those work plans out through the committees, and I'll copy, Madam Chair, the executive committee on all of that, just to give you more paper in your inbox. There were 7 specific work plans that we attached to them. Now, what I want to bring to the board's attention that we'll be working on with the committees is a couple of things that are accreditation related, things that I learned, things that we learned that day, things that the chair and I learned at the end of the day. One is for our committee work. We're going to be recommending to the committees to bring to this board a restructuring of how the committees are populated and how they're run. What do I mean by that? So we'll be working starting presumably with economic vitality. I'll give you a call, Matt. It might only be you and I and Janet on Thursday, because the populated committee that I thought was going to be there, everybody's like scattered because it's the first one. I'd be like, oh my God, I forgot. So we'll get her going. But Madam Chair and the board, what I mean by that is we're going to be suggesting, our bylaws say that board members shall participate in a committee. It doesn't say you have to chair the thing or keep minutes or figure out what the agenda is going to be. And instead of having that simply fall to staff, it's going to be our recommendation to the committee that they would think on the idea of getting one of our active participants from the community, from the business community, to act as the chair of those committees, with the board member simply taking on an advisory role from the board, knowing the overall focus of the strategic plan and special projects. Earlier, we accepted with regret Sally Medina's resignation because of her family commitments, but she has told me that she is fully committed to taking on special projects and marketing. She is a case study in what we will be recommending through our committee. So that comes out of your accreditation process and knowledge in that hierarchy. We also want to potentially, we'll pose it as a question first so we don't chase anybody away, make the recommendation that committee members are appointed by this board. Not in the formal sense, Ms. Rutt, like you appoint people as the council president, but that we actually have a process where someone expresses interest. We're going to go to great effort a week from Wednesday to have a volunteer recognition night. Sounds like we're going to get a lot of people. I hope all of you come. A week from tomorrow at Sick Pizza, we have 7 unbelievable awardees that night. It's going to be very cool. We're getting RSVPs in. It's going to be a very, very cool night. Out of that, we're encouraging people to learn about the committees, learn about what we do, what are the 4 points. Your executive director thinks that it would be really worthwhile for us to say, you're perfect to join our promotions committee. Here's a simple little application. Tell us about yourself. It comes through the process, and then they get appointed. We can say to them, hey, it's a badge of honor. You've been appointed to be an integral part of the structure of Lake Orion Main Street and its DDA. It will just be a recommendation. So as a report for accreditation, a lot of that came out. Some structural things of how we operate came through the accreditation process. We're anticipating receiving our 19th year of accreditation within the next couple of weeks. The county was extremely happy with the way we formatted the day, and we're blown away by the fact that we had 30 business and community leaders in a room for the whole afternoon. It was really an impressive
It was
thing.
impressive.
So, Madam Chair, this was more of a report. I vowed to you that this year we would start every meeting, we would have a minute for mission that refocused what we're doing towards our transformational strategy. So today it's just a report as it plans to this as we go forward. As you heard at the last meeting, all of our committees are going to be asked for every work plan. So take for example, the design committee, there's a work plan to populate the facade grant program. That instead of just doing it like we've done for 2 years since I've been here, we're actually going to have a Main Street-based work plan, much like Teresa Red, I know that you're popular of. That would start with, what is the purpose of us doing the facade program? And out of that purpose, you need to name for us in written form, staff will help, how does that purpose define itself to a GAMSA standard? That we can start building ourselves, instead of around the idea of we do cool things, we do things because we're the best program in the country, and here's why. Because we already exceed these things that this national program says we should be doing. So that's where we're at with accreditation, and I think it went really, really well. So I would tender it back to you for questions, comments from the board, direction that the director would have.
Quick question, is that all going to be formatted so that we don't have 7 people doing, 7 committees doing 7 different lookalikes?
Well, funny you should say that. We are going to implement a process where at least twice a year, we're going to have the committees in a joint work session. And so the idea is that each committee would know what the other's doing. We had an exercise in December where the committee chairs met at the beginning of the month. Starting in March, we're going to be recommending how this committee structure kind of ferrets out. It might stay the same for now, that at the beginning of every month that we would have a conference call. It doesn't have to be an in-person meeting, but just a conference call saying this month, so say Elena stays in charge of organization. Elena, what are you focusing on this month? So if Justin Jurgens becomes the chair of economic vitality, which I think he will, then Justin can hear, oh, the organization committee is working, really focusing on the illuminators and really focusing on getting ready for the structural work that we're doing, and he can hear that, and then he takes it back to his committee. So the chairs will have a short little 15-minute reset every month, and then we would have a working session twice a year with the committee. So that's the goal, Mr. Laurent. I hope we get there quickly.
Anybody else?
No, I thought the meeting was very nice. The gentleman, what's the guy's name?
Jonathan?
Jonathan was a really good presenter of information and really wealth of knowledge. We could bounce ideas off me. He was a really, it was a good dude. It was a really good presentation and a good meeting, I think, better than even ones in the past, which I really liked a lot too. So I thought it was very worthwhile. Definitely, I've never gone to one of these accreditation meetings saying, what a waste of my time. I've never been, I always think, God, I don't want to go, but I go and go, oh, it's amazing. It's one of those things you go, it's like working out. You don't want to go, you work out, you feel great. But it was a really good meeting. I thought it was very well worthwhile. Although I couldn't make the 2 o'clock meeting because I skipped work in the morning, but I heard I've had a few patients that were there for the meeting, said it was a good turnout. They were impressed that they could express their inputs and they asked for ideas, which is cool.
It was an excellent, diverse showing of who we are. It was really good.
Good.
So, Madam Chair, before we move on, I would just state for the public as well, on our website, it's not posted yet, as I didn't get to it today, but all the accreditation materials will be posted on our website. If people want to see how we go through the process, mostly reading that self evaluation that we put in, It is a laborious document. It is not something that takes just a couple of hours. It takes a couple of days. It really takes a couple of weeks to get it done right and complete. It is 6 different sections with multiple points of the work that you're doing. It ranges from all levels of, is your organizational structure correct? Do you have the right appropriate budget strategy? Do you have work plan? But then it really gets into, is the work you're doing representative not only of your community, but relating directly to your transformational strategy to provide an opportunity for anyone in your community or outside your community to benefit from accessibility, from diversity, from growth, from all those things. So it is a really laborious process. It'll all be posted on our website. The work plans that we have right now, I've already created 4 more for specific project work we're doing. So all 11 work plans will be posted in a separate section. So if anybody from the public wants to see what's the DDA working on, those very detailed documents that Janet put hers on steroids for Ice Fest, hers is much longer than mine, but they're nice 2-page big documents. All of the goals and objectives, how they tie to which committees, which overlap, what's the definition of success, what's the strategic point in our transformational strategy we're trying to achieve, and at the bottom of each one it says that the primary kickoff of this will be the written statement for GAMSA applicability for the work that we do. So anybody wants to see that, you included, it'll all be on our website by the end of the week.
Okay. So,
Motion to receive and file.
Yeah, that'd probably be appropriate.
Support.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to transformational strategy committee structure.
Madam Chair, just real quickly, we just talked about the approach to the committees. We do have in the packet tonight a restatement of each purpose of the committee, as well as the dates of the committee. I'm asking that the board adopt those. I think I put a motion somewhere. Adopt the statement of purpose and committee meeting dates for our 4 committees: Economic Vitality, Design, Promotion, Organization. Why would I do this? We believe, staff believes that it's imperative that we adopt these and publish these dates so that we can tell our committees that it's a real honor to serve on this stuff, and this is when our meetings are. We've been moving our meetings every month for every excuse you can ever imagine, and so we want to really put out a statement that says, block these in your calendar. We understand you'll have to miss some, but this is real fixed. So that's what's before you.
Is that the next agenda item?
That's
Yeah.
actually the next agenda item.
Is it?
I think we mixed, I think we really mixed the
I think
prior
you
two.
blended the
Together,
first two.
You
Yeah.
blended transformational strategy with your committee meeting dates, adopt and publish.
So they both could have been covered by the receive and
What did I
file.
do?
There was no motion for either of them, so.
Yeah, you talked about the new committee structure under the Main Street accreditation because it came out of naturally those conversations, and so they just kind of blended
I
together.
actually want to move to.
There's still no action to
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, so that receive and file was a joint for the prior two items.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
Sorry, Madam.
Now move to adopt the statement of purpose and committee meeting dates for economic vitality, design, promotion, and organization.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So you guys want to, on page 92, 93, 94, and 95, you might want to pull this out of your, because all the dates are here. So for an easy reference, you might want to pull that out. So you have that for your calendar. Okay? All right, moving on to item number D, Executive Director's Report, page 97.
All right, I'm soon to quit talking, Madam Chair, I promise, but I do want to get into the record that since we last met, my office has been focused on big reporting. Our accreditation was one. Our next one that we did, we submitted timely our tax increment finance report to Treasury at the state. This report is derived from our accounting and assessing, equalization and assessing numbers that we're able to get the assistance of the township with. I would just note for the record that it does reflect from the actual assessing records that $1,066,955 was the actual captured amount for our TIF this year. That differs from our budget. We were forecasting to be about $1.13 million, and so that will be reflected as we go into our next budgeting cycle. And I will be following up with our clerk treasurer here at the village to make sure that we're accounted correctly.
Can you just state those numbers one more time, please?
So $1,066,955 is what was actually captured. And we budgeted anticipating it would be $1,013,000. So we've outpaced ourselves in growth within the district to the benefit of everybody. And I would state very, very strenuously on the record that I know a lot of people in the community here that, the DDA doesn't do anything for us. If we have that type of a bump in our TIF, that means the overall village and the work, part of the work of everybody, but in part of the work of what we're driving as well is that means that the village assessments went up in kind. So that means that Ms. Rutt's budget, even though it's strained like ours, is going to be better because of it. So it's a nice report to have. We report the numbers that you would see in the report. This report is kept on our website. If you want to see where it tracks the last 7 years, they're all on our website. So that's one thing we've been doing. I did do the accounting for the grant with Oakland County. We did receive a grant in the amount of $595,000-ish. Sorry, I should have it memorized. I provided a detailed accounting. You've seen this. The one other thing I would point out is we have intentionally overspent our initial draw. What does that mean for the public and for you? So the grant is paid in two pieces. The county paid $446,000 and change in the first draw. We invoiced for that. They gave us the check. It went into the accounts, but we budgeted the full amount of the grant because we have enough within our fund balances and the bond funding that we could just have a strategic plan of getting things done, keeping track of things that were applicable specific to the grant, that we kept track of that. So we did continue to spend on that so that we essentially overspent the grant. I know the public's going to go, oh, what'd you do? Well, we did this all on purpose. It's just an accounting measure by $94,000. So what we've done is provided a complete accounting, a very detailed accounting that you would see in your packet of all of the expenditures that we have applicable to the grant itself. We're now fully compliant with the grant. We can apply for the second distribution of the grant. When we get that, what does that mean? The bottom line is we have $55,000 more dollars that we can apply towards the project from the grant. And so everything's been accounted to the grant. The county's very happy. I brought just one of the books. This is just one of the accounting books that has just our financial records. This isn't the contracts and the orders and the RFPs and everything else. This is just one half of our financial records. And so since I last saw you, we created two of these and submitted our dollars, and all the reports on back were in good shape. So we did that as part of my report from the accounting. So some big reports we got done. We've done a lot of other really cool things. I'm going to include the lumberyard report here. Over the holidays, Jim Butler and I from PEA, we now have a final concept plan. Ms. Laurent, being from the Planning Commission, you know what that is. That means that the long-awaited 4+ month overdue planned unit development eligibility application is now done. I wanted to go through it one more time with village staff today. We did that. So that's going to be submitted tomorrow unless I go home and fall asleep instead and not finish it. But that'll be submitted tomorrow. That's an exciting prospect for the lumberyard itself. We did kick off and did all the load sheets for DTA, as I reported last time, was in process. That's been done. All of our service planning for DTE to bring electricity to the site is going. You will see at the next meeting our RFPs for finding an electrical contractor in the same way that we found Mickey's Construction to be our general carpentry contractor. We will find not just can you put this set of lights in, we want to find a general contractor that will bid and scope the plans that Davis & Davis, remember we hired an architect in this, that they conceptually designed for us. That RFP will be out at your next agenda. We will be deciding on a general contractor for electrical service. That only leaves us with water at that point and underground. We'll have, as the Planning Commission will see on our PUD application, all of our other little major plugs are filled now. And so all of that's been done. I also finished all of the contracts for our potential retail and third-party partners. They have gone out where they need to go out in meetings. They're not in a position that I want to disclose those publicly. Anybody that's involved in real estate knows that as soon as I start disclosing things publicly, that the negotiated scale of where we're going to land with things changes quite dramatically. Nothing's been offered, nothing's been presented for decision. I'm fully confident to say to the public, just wait and be patient. But, so the board knows all of that now. Last month you said, get everything under contract. All of that stuff has been done, and that's in substantive negotiation. Where does all that stand for the lumberyard? We will re-up the advisory concept. There'll be a notice that goes out that will coincide with bringing in an electrical contractor to get that process started. So in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, for anybody that is interested in continuing to be an advisory to what we're doing, there'll be an opportunity to bring that in. I think you saw at the stakeholders meeting, those that were there, Mike, the metal artist, we're starting to bring in those types of people. Brian and Susan Winter's son, Mark, is a tremendous welding artwork young man that wants to donate a bunch of services. We're starting to build that roster of things. I forced my son to carry the 300-pound Starry Night wood sign to your beautiful art center there, Mr. Loran. I know you're on the board at the art center still.
Where is it?
It's in the basement over at the Moose Tree Center.
Oh, at Moose Tree. Oh, that's right, I know.
Yeah, so we, Ian and I, somehow we didn't hurt ourselves, but we got that underway, that the art's being restored. And so a lot of things have been going. So long report, we're in really good shape. So I can answer any questions, or you can simply receive and file. And I turn it back to you.
Motion to receive and file.
Support.
Any discussion, any questions?
If you need a chiropractor, I know a good chiropractor in case.
Yes. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to 9E, Assistant Director's Report.
Thank you. So the completed events that we had at the end of last year, Storybook Stroll, we have 13 businesses in downtown which are hosting those pages in their retail windows, and certainly want to thank them for that. Our Polar Express Trolley Experience was a sellout at, we had 250 tickets that were sold, and just very well received. We being coffee company, thanks to them for coming out to the hot cocoa at the check-in, Epic Realty for being this year's North Pole, Lake Orion Bike and Adventure Company for providing cookies at the North Pole, and Fire Chief Ryan Allen is the conductor, and Carrie for being Mrs. Claus. We had over 25 volunteers that came out to support that event, and many of them for our Lake Orion Community Schools, which again, they've been invited along with their families to join us next Wednesday, so I hope that they're able to join us. January 1st, resolution run, they average about 250 runners per year. We reached out to them saying, how can we connect our businesses to that event? And so there was a reach out as far as if you'd like to include something in the runners packets, we can do that. And we did have Wayne Haney with Farm Bureau that stepped forward to do that. Again, just looking to build upon those opportunities. Ice Fest, I'll save to the end here to kind of cover and give a little more detail. Shop OC Main Streets, that $100,000 challenge is still ongoing until June 2026. So if people shop online, shop downtown Lake Orion, the DDA has an opportunity, as does the shoppers and stores, to be able to win money through that program. So we encourage folks to shop online. You're still supporting local. E-newsletters, we had 5 created during that time. Again, we're above average for our open rate, 27.6%. We continue to grow organically with our Facebook and our Illuminators pages, Instagram and X as well, all those moving forward. So some things as far as saving the dates. Downtown Lowdown is going to be Monday, January 26th at Rise Lounge from 4 to 5:30. Again, as Matt had mentioned, we have Light Up Lake Orion, A Night to Shine, which is the volunteer awards and sneak peek of upcoming activities and events. January 28th, 6 to 8 p.m., Sick Town Hall. Bagels and Brew Morning Mixer, I mentioned this is a chamber member event, but it's at one of our downtown businesses, February 3rd, 8 to 9 a.m. at Messy Designs. So if you're a chamber member, come support our local DDA business. We also have a ribbon cutting to mention, Wine by the Bottle, ribbon cutting and networking event for Orion Area Chamber of Commerce, and that's February 12th, 4 to 6 p.m. The ribbon cutting will be at 4:30 p.m. That's going to be at 146 South Broadway. And then we also have a program for everybody to put on their calendar to join us at the DDA office for the Main Street Open House, learning more about the Main Street program, and that's going to be March 26th, 4 to 8 p.m. at our DDA office. I included in the packet the graphics for our lowdown, the invite for the volunteer gathering, and then for Ice Fest. Want to get into a little more detail on that. We do still have sponsorship opportunities, or if you want to purchase an ice block, connect with our office. We can send you that information. And so for Ice Fest, we wanted to add more to it, make it more of a great destination wintertime activity in downtown Lake Orion. So above and beyond the ice carvings, the live carving demonstrations, we've added a Jack Frost scavenger hunt for kids where we have limited while supplies last, I guess is the best way to put it. As kids find where Jack Frost is at, given a set of clues that they can come back to the DDA booth at Flint Street Alley and get a winter fun pack. And then also the Ice Fest Business Bingo. And so we're having businesses sign up. And as people make their way with their bingo card, they turn that back into the DDA booth at Flint Street Alley for a chance to win downtown dollars. We also have a selfie station, which will have a QR code that as families load up their information, send us a family photo from the event, that they also have an opportunity to win downtown dollars as well. The Flint Street Alley Warming Hub will actually be part of the Ice Golf Cup Challenge. I think I say that differently each time. And Flint Street Alley is going to be one of the holes for that course. And so again, there'll be a warming hub and treats available there as well. The one thing that we're really excited about as well is the chili cook-off competition. And we already have 5 restaurants lined up to participate in that. It'll be 2-ounce samples for each restaurant. And we'll be releasing tickets tomorrow, and it'll be sampling from 12 to 3:30 at each restaurant, and then people will vote and then bring that back to our DDA booth, and then we will have an award announcement at Wine Social at 4 o'clock. So our restaurants are really ready to kind of battle it out and find out who has the best chili in downtown Lake Orion. So again, excited for that coming through. Thank you to AdRight. They recently loaded up a ad on the M24 billboard for us as well. And so again, we encourage everybody to come out February 7th. The event runs from 10 to 4 p.m.
I have a question.
Yes.
How much did it cost us to put on the Polar Express?
I know that one was a little bit more. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we did incur a larger expense due to the trolley not functioning. And so I think that bill was maybe around $2,100 to $2,200 to have to bring in that activity.
So that was just to bring a different trolley in, or is that the amount for?
That was for the trolley. Yes.
So
for the other activities.
did we increase the, hold on, did we increase the ticket price? Or did we
kept that
did we
the
not know
same.
that the trolley was not functioning, or?
Right, so we had anticipated that the trolley was going to be ready for that event, and then it was determined that it was going to be beyond repair for that. So both for us and also Oxford, we had to spend to get a rental trolley.
Okay, so if you don't have it, I'd like to know how much it cost us in totality to put on the event, and I would like to know how much money we lost on the event. Is that what you're saying, we did not cover expenses?
For that, since we did have to go and get a new trolley, then yes, so we did take a bit of a ding on that event, and I can provide that information via email to the board.
Was that $2,000 for Lake Orion and Oxford both? Like, the trolley cost us $4,000, or we paid the whole cost? I'm just curious.
So that was our portion,
Like, I portion,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So Oxford paid 2,200 or 2,100, and we also paid 2,100 or 2,200 just for the trolley? And then we also, on top of that, had the repair for our trolley?
So we didn't have a repair cost on the trolley.
If I could, Madam Chair, in the consent agenda is the letter for us terminating our participation.
Yeah, I read
in the
that, but
program. We declined to participate in any further repairs on the existing trolley because the mechanics keep saying it's beyond repair. So the $2,100 was the daily rental cost to find a replacement. NODA is not in a position anymore to provide the types of services like we did last year when the trolley was broken, that NODA would come. So we were left with either cancel the event or rent a trolley. And so the direction was made to rent a trolley. We had a lot of young families that at that point had already committed. We felt it was appropriate to the community, but we did lose money.
I saw the letter that's saying that we were no longer going to participate, but I also saw in the letter that stated if there's any outstanding bills for us to consider, please forward them to us. And so I was curious, did we receive any of those bills, and how much were they? In addition to what we had to spend to rent a new trolley, and in addition to not charging enough for the tickets to cover expenses. So I just want to, I'd like to know how much it actually cost us.
Yeah, the accounting's very appropriate. I can say that we have not received any notification of additional expenses.
Okay,
And we did have a meeting with the director of the Oxford DDA, who herself didn't think there would be, but I left it open. That's a courtesy between communities. I wouldn't want them.
correct, but I just wanted to see it, because I only saw what you provided.
Understood.
I wanted to know if we received anything as a result of that letter.
Understood. Not as of yet.
Okay.
And as far as the accounting, that's a pretty easy thing. We can get that out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, please.
Had we not had to rent a trolley, would we have made money?
Yes, we would have. Yep.
We would have, because I don't think last year we made money on it.
Again, I'll pull together the financials. I don't want to pull numbers out of the air. I apologize, I don't have those details in front of me tonight.
Okay.
But I can pull that together for last year's and this year's.
Okay. The ad right, how much did that cost us?
That's free.
So
does
he
in
did that
trade
for
us.
free?
Yes.
Are we sending a really nice thank you card to him for that?
They will be a media sponsor for us for Ice Fest.
Okay, beautiful. Anybody else while I'm looking at my notes here? Oh, anybody? So after Ice Fest, what is the next scheduled event? Because we had talked about previously, when we have an event and we have an audience here, that we want to immediately take advantage of their presence here and invite them to the next event. So what would that next event be for us? And are we prepared to do that, or?
So we, as far as the Save the Date ones that I had covered, as far as our March one coming up, to invite people to the office. For community events, we have Lake Orion Live, that is going to be July and August. We have to work with promotions committee to see what additional activities that we want to add in for our spring. We have the cleanup day that we will have on, I believe it's May 9th this year. That again will be coming up right before Art and Flower Fair. That we invite the community to come out and help us clean up, do some plantings, et cetera.
So what's the next event after Ice Fest?
That would be the spring cleanup in May.
In May?
Yes,
So from March, April, so we have 3 months of nothing, and then we have the cleanup in May, correct?
currently, yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Nope.
Okay.
Motion to receive and file?
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to board comments and training feedback.
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm looking forward to having, last year was, I thought last year was very, very good, and I'm looking to this year to be even better. I'm hoping that we can get the lumberyard maybe open by the summer. I don't know, I wouldn't push for it, but maybe we can. And I think that's a great gift to the community when we get that ready.
Not much this time, but just thanks to Matt and Janet for your hard work, as always.
Yeah, like I said, the accreditation process was fun again. It was worthwhile, definitely. We always gain information, knowledge from that process. Thanks for you guys' hard work. We're looking forward to a successful 2026. Yeah, the lumberyard project's pretty exciting. I met a guy who's not in our DDA district, new guy, the new owner of Professor Soup's, Massimo, good Italian paisan. Got some good products back there. I told him to give you a contact, because I told him, maybe he may have an opportunity there in the lumberyard in the future, because he's got some good soups and some good paninis he's making and things, so I told him to give you a contact. So his name is Massimo. If you hear from him, he's a paisan.
I like Professor Soups.
Yeah, they're good.
So good.
Really good.
Didn't know it was a new owner, though.
New owner, just as
Okay.
a month ago.
Okay.
Oh,
Great
good to
soups,
know.
though. Great soups. I just wanted to say thank you to Sally for all her service on the DDA board. We're sad to not have her up here. So there is a vacancy, and I will be asking our clerk's office. I know at least one application has come in, but I'll be asking our clerk's office to pull any previous applications as well for me to review, to recommend an appointment to the village council. Also, thank you to Emily. I think in your motion, you didn't say her name because you couldn't say her last name. I can't say her last name either. But thank you to Emily for the service that she gave to the DDA in the downtown as well, and wish her well in her new position. And then also to everybody who came to the accreditation night, I thought it was really cool in the afternoon. I had to leave a little bit early to get home to my kids, but just to see the diverse group of people that came in the afternoon. It wasn't just a few business owners from the core, four corners, but it was quite a variety of people, volunteers who volunteered for the DDA, business owners, community members, village council members. Mr. Dandelides was there as well as Mr. Ford. And so thank you for everybody who took time out of their day to come do that, because it's important. And just a great representation of the heart of this community, of people who love this community and want to see this community succeed.
Very good. I just want to thank everyone who's watching and those who also participated in the accreditation process. I believe Eric from Main Street and also Jonathan, they said this was probably one of the best showings of support from the community that they have seen as they're going across the state and the community for the accreditation process. So go Lake Orion. So grateful for the very strong presence of support. Also, I'd like to give a special shout out to Sally for her dedication and commitment to the board. You're going to be sorely missed, but we wish you well with your family and all of the wonderful things that your children are involved in. And also for Emily, it's really kind of a sad thing, because she was just starting to kind of like find her place, right? And so I wish her well also with her health and her new position. And then I want to also say that we are looking forward to partnering with the Rotary Club for the Ice Fest and the Golf Cup outing. That's going to be awesome. We're going to be hosting one of the holes too, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we've had a great start to the new year. And so we're very grateful for everyone's commitment, and we appreciate you back there. and the partnering that we're able to do. At this time, our next regular meeting is going to be February 17th, 2026. Could we have a motion for adjournment, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Stay safe. Yeah, oh, stay warm. I was thinking- Yeah, oh, really, yes.